Welcome to the random broadcast this morning, right here in this studio where we have nothing to talk about. And as you can see, I got this lovely new mic and I had to test it out. So I came online without knowing what to say to see how this goes. How's it going? It's been so long. I feel so alien to this thing that I couldn't even set up properly because uh, we got a immobile recording station, which is my computer, and it's pretty weird because sometimes, apparently, if you want to like share your screen, uh, you need to get a streaming service. So that makes going live a lot more tricky because sometimes I want to talk about certain things or share certain stuff that I'm talking about that I need to show it to make it more easy to digest. But I don't have a streaming service yet. Maybe we'll get that soon. So at least I can share my screen and then we can have some really crazy videos. If I could show you some of the stuff, I think that would be very interesting. But anyways, it's just a random broadcast, no specific topics today. What's funny is when you realize like some of the easiest ways when you're having a conversation with someone is jumping from topic to topic, like briefly talking about something and then jumping to the next topic, like you're talking about dogs and then you're talking about making money and then you're talking about the pie you ate and then you're talking about Star Wars. And usually when you have those kind of hours of long conversation where you're not really talking about one specific thing, you realize you can talk like forever. But then when you have those conversations where you talk about one thing or like you go deep into one topic, so instead of like topic, you just go like topic, and then deep. You can go way more in depth on something, but then I don't know if you go through this, but sometimes I find it harder to like get out of that topic. So let's say you're talking so deep about the banking system, and then you're talking about interest and then inflation, and then you're going all the way deep, and then you're talking about like lizard people and stuff, and then you want to switch to something, a little off topic. It becomes really awkward to like break that dynamic, or like you just end up staring at the other person like, yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So, I mean, neither are good or bad. I just think that it's really interesting how you can either drill down and go vertical, or you can, what you call in advertising, horizontal scaling, which is, like I said, jumping from topic to topic. Both are good. You should definitely do both, in my opinion. Um, Today is the 4th of March. What's happening? Let's see. So I have been going very deep into blockchain and how blockchain can help solve real life solutions apart from just money and Bitcoin and whatever. Like those are just the currencies. We're talking about just using blockchain as people use the internet. And I've been trying to work on a project from that. So I've been doing a lot of research and just really going deep into this really funny world of blockchain. It's pretty cool. I think once you understand it, it's going to be like you're talking about just the internet. It is the internet, but just with less gatekeeping systems. So it's probably like going to be like right now it's kind of like the Wild West, and eventually, just like how Web 2.0 was, it was also like the Wild West. And you had that .com bubble where everyone is just buying domains and just making crazy amount of money, and you heard about this thing called the internet. So I feel like this was what the internet was supposed to be, the blockchain, uh, or rather, it's the evolution of the internet. Because before you had only websites, and then people just writing their own websites, and you get links to those websites. And then you got search engines, which was new. And then after search engines, the big next leap was like social media, right? Social media allowed now people to be their own websites without being the website. Kind of like now everyone has the chance to produce things that you other people can find online. And now you got the blockchain, which is like the internet, just even more personalized. So how you have to think about it is like in the blockchain, you're your own brand, as you are right now. You know, your Instagram profile, your Facebook, your website, all that is your own brand. So the level up with blockchain is you're your own brand to the point you can even make your own currency. Does that sound pretty crazy? Does that sound unrealistic? Yes, it does. Is it going to happen? Who knows? But I can tell you right now, you can make your own token. You can make your own currency, digital currency. You can do that on your computer. So imagine you're like, that's why this whole NFT thing is blowing up. Oh man, because you have artists who realize that they're their own brand to the point they can make their own digital value. And so if you have a very passionate audience, and then you make the goober coin, and you can use the goober coin for like a specific utility, and like whatever maybe I made something really cool, right? Or like an NFT, like maybe I made 100 limited sunglasses, right? Like limited edition. And then I just wanted to just make it because it's cool, and my audience just decided, yeah, like we want to buy his merch, and then they do. So that's already happening. Like when a big influencer makes a product, or and they sell it through to their audiences. But this is like I said, it's just a level up further, because now you don't need YouTube to do that. You don't need these platforms to do that. You can do it independently, and you don't have to follow like YouTube's regulations or any other regulations, because you can literally just code these things on yourself. Now it's even come to the point you can just copy paste things. You don't even need to know coding. You just copy templates. But that's what I've been getting into, blockchain. I've been reading a lot about it. I think they're already going to use blockchain for to help with pandemic stuff, especially passports, medical passports, whether or like digital passports for verifying that you've been vaccinated. So there's tons and tons of new stuff for blockchain, which I think I will leave exclusively for another episode. More of what's going on is obviously, I can't not talk about crypto. I have to at least mention crypto. It's March. It's been crazy. The last time I said anything was about in December. And if in December, I don't know if you were following cryptocurrency prices, but Bitcoin went from like 25,000 to it reached like it touched 48,000 by the beginning of January, and then it crashed. And at the time, people were saying 28,000 was like overbought, which it was, I think, at the time. And 2 months later, it went to 48,000. It crashed down to like 30 something. And then at the end of January, it picked up again. It went to 58,000 by middle of February. So in 2 months, this thing that we thought was overcooked at 20K. I remember I was doing some Instagram post about trying to crack 20K. I'm like, oh my God, history is about to happen. It's about to go past 20K. Is it going to happen? And then we got rejected, and the price went down to like 16. And then I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's not going to happen. And then 3 months later, it touched 58K. There's a $58,000 Bitcoin, if you did not know. That's how quickly things change. Right now, it's not at 58K. It dropped to 49,000 at the middle of March, because it hit 58 and then it dropped to 42. And now it's back up to 49. So it's been pretty crazy. And I think that reset we did is what lets this thing continue for another few more months. Who knows how long. So the more overcooked it is, the faster the price goes up. Let's say it goes from 50K to 100K by March. Let's just say that happens. Okay, that's a 2x. That's insane. It's like 200%. But I know it's 100%. But the quicker that happens, the more likely you'll have a deeper correction. So what you actually want, if you were buying, is for it to go up slowly. So let's say maybe it hits 100K by June. That gives it way more space for it to even go to 300K by end of the year. So if we go that steady route, you might actually see 100 or 500K Bitcoin sometime this year. It could happen. Look, no, we all thought 58,000 was insane. People thought 2,000 was insane. That, and I think I'll also make a different broadcast specifically for crypto, especially for beginners who just don't understand what the hell is going on. And I'm not an expert in crypto at all. There's so much about blockchain, so much about crypto I don't understand at all. But I'm researching it and I'm looking into it, and it's trying to imagine something like in the mind. Like your brain kind of can't understand it because it's like digital and it's like code, and you're like, what are you telling me? Like everything's a node. What is this coded currency? But like theoretically, I can understand it, but I think I need to just do it, actually go through the motions to really understand what this is and whether this is like the next gen that's like where you should go full time. It's like, is it time to go full time crypto blockchain, or is it too early? Is the disruption right now, is getting in right now the same as getting in to the internet or e-commerce in the year 2000? Is it that early? Is it going to be the next millionaires of tomorrow? I don't know, but I'm reading a lot into it, and just from a solution-based standpoint, I don't see how this does not. It's like new technology, like it's new financial technology. It's easier to send money. It's better than what the banks have. So banks would want to use this to send funds. It's just easier. So I don't know. I mean, it looks really, with greatest probability, it looks like it's just a no-brainer at this point. And we're still super early. If this goes where it's supposed to go, that's talking about like trillions and trillions of dollars. Right now it's about like 1.7, almost 2 trillion. Well, oh my God, man, you can still do like a 20x from here. It's crazy. Like it can be a 20 trillion market just because it's just financial technology. That's all it is. No, I'm sorry, it's more than that. I'm just talking about cryptocurrencies, financial technology, but blockchain is just something else. Anyways, what else have we been doing? We've been learning a lot about communication. Yes. So I'm writing a research paper. I'm doing a research study on communication. And what's funny about communication is you think it's about sending a message to the other person. And that's true. That's what it is. But the actual study of communication is the study of the technology that's being used for the sending and receiving of messages. So, for example, when I say technology, in communication theory, technology is also language. Language is a tool. It's a technology. We created language. We weren't born with it, right? Why did we create language? So that it's easier to communicate ideas. What was before language was drawings, right? Drawings on the caves or hieroglyphs, or before, or I don't know. What do you think came first? Language, it's like spoken word, or visual words? Was language the most modern form before visual? Could be. I mean, how do you know people didn't like communicate with like grunts and howls or whatever before they learned? No, see, because to have a painting on a wall, you'd need a pencil or a brush or sticks. It's pretty interesting. What came first, written or spoken language? Anyways, you get the idea. It's the study of the technology that we use to communicate and the effects it has. And history shows us that every time a new piece of technology, communication technology, was introduced, it massively changed society and how society operated. So when you started painting, that changed civilization. When you started printing, okay, the first printed books were religious books, actually, if I'm not mistaken. That changed society. And then you got the radio, and then television, and now it's mobile phones. So that's crazy, and it's happened so quick. we're not even sure um, of the implications of what this technology is doing, what we should be aware of. What are the good things, what are bad things. It's so fresh. It's so out of our realm of like ordinary that we just haven't quickly moved past to actually understand like mobile phones. I'm not saying these are evil. I mean, they could be, but they're also pretty awesome. My point is, it's just like you're creating a rocket without seatbelts, and you just, uh, some people are gonna fall out the window. Anyways, so that's another thing we've been diving deep into. I've been researching this for up to a year. I've been getting a lot of good data. I've been learning a lot about algorithms and how they work. Um, it's insane. Algorithms are opinions, not like we all think algorithms are stuff that is recommending you stuff based on what you like, but it turns out that it's not. It works a lot more deeper than that. It doesn't just show you the recommended things of similar interest, but sometimes it will show you something that you've never been aware of or know, but it determined that because algorithms optimize, they're coded to optimize for success. So what success means is based on whatever the algorithm was coded for. So in social media, it's three success goals: is engagement, growth, and advertising, or I think predictive behavior. I forgot what it was. Engagement is getting people to watch and click. Growth is getting people to come back to those platforms, and the last one, advertising, is like getting people to take action. So when you have an algorithm that's like where its main success goal is those three things, it has way more data than even the people who make algorithms can even understand. Like even the people who make algorithms, there's a handful of people who know how this stuff works, and even they don't fully understand how it works. But then the algorithm is kind of like this mind of its own. It's an opinion, right? Because like, who's to say that the success is engagement, growth, and advertising? That success is based on the company's goals. So all the algorithm is going to do is it's going to hone in on those things. And one interesting fact that I learned is that the reason misinformation and fake news is so like rampant is because it turns out that the algorithm, based on its abundance of data, that people are more likely to read and engage with false information than real information. So think about that. It's the fake news that's going to spread like wildfire because the algorithm is going to favor that over the true information. Because why? It's going based on its opinion script of engagement, growth, advertising. So it determined, for whatever reason, however it works, that false information can get people to buy, right? Because those are the three goals. It's not just engagement and sharing. It's to predict behavior, which is buying on these platforms, because that's how they make their main revenue model. So their entire algorithm is based on that, because they have free services, so they got to make their money somehow. And they, like most of these tech companies, have discovered that advertising is the best way to utilize data. It's just, I mean, there's so much you can do with data, but this is how they monetize their companies. So yeah, what you have to know this about algorithms is that whatever you're being fed is not even something you like. It's what the algorithm has determined you will most likely engage with. So that's pretty crazy. That's what some of my research is revolving around, is algorithms and misinformation, and like the pandemic and possible solutions of like, oh, okay, how can we, if the algorithm is going to spread more fake news, and if the fake news is going to cause people to have like split realities. So one of the reasons I do want to talk about this is to not scare people, but to actually make them realize that we live in different online realities. So your newsfeed is a lot more different than my newsfeed. And when you start experiencing split ideologies with, let's say, your best friends or people in a circle, you need to remember that we're all reading we're all in a different funnel in our newsfeed, and we're all consuming different information because of what's been customized for us. So like it's really crazy because we'll be like, how can you believe that X president is a great president with everything you're seeing online? And it's because you're seeing something different than what your friend who supports that president, for example, is doing. And it's important because look, I'm not saying I'm not trying to be like, oh yeah, these companies are evil. I don't know if they are. I really don't fully know. If I do, maybe I'll share my evidence. But the point is to remember, regardless of their intent, is that again, I said, even they don't know how this stuff works. I don't think anyone intended for this. I think it's just this behemoth thing that's just kind of like overtaking them rather. And like the algorithm just does what it was programmed to do. And in a way, it's kind of exposing us. So it's because it's discovered that we like fake news more than real news, and like that gets more engagement for whatever reason. And another thing I'm diving deep into is why is it we no, what I've also added to this research is that we're more likely to make a decision based on irrational facts when it's a topic we understand very little about. So there's two ways your mind processes information. I think it's called the peripheral route and the central route. The peripheral one is more of the emotional reactions to things, and you tend to make it uses less computation. You're less rational, you're less deductive and weighing the pros and cons when making those kind of decisions on information that you know very little about. So if you know nothing about nutrition and then you go to someone who's allegedly an expert in nutrition, you're going to most likely take all the information he's telling you without question because you don't know a lot about nutrition. So you kind of give up that extra layer of filter. But when it's something you have a lot of information about, you take a longer time before you decide whether this information is credible or not. And that's something very important. So think about that. When it comes to fake news, you're seeing something that, one, is hitting you on a subconscious level because again, the algorithm knows that this is going to predict your behavior in the long run and get you to engage more. So you're seeing something that's naturally going to cause reactions in you. Two, it's not even real information. So it's most likely a topic about something you don't know much about. So your central route is already shut off because now you're to make a quicker decision. Your brain does this, just throws it to peripheral route because it's like, oh, yo, we don't have enough facts about politics to know whether this post is real or not. And then it'll lower your inhibition to accept that kind of information because you're just giving it up to this page, which you assume is credible. And that's pretty cool psychology to, as you're, in an age where information is just like complete bombardment, information everywhere. You don't know what's real and what's not real. And hopefully by introducing blockchain, you can actually help mitigate some of these things. And that's just one of, which is why I'm like putting all this research under one umbrella because it all ties together. Yeah. So we'll talk more about these in later episodes. I've been, wait, let me check out the prices. I've been trading like crazy. So I talked about prices, but I didn't tell you I've been trading like crazy the past 2 months. I've never made this much money online trading. So far, it has been the most profitable venture I've ever put my money on. So all the past videos I've done telling you about my stories, about my businesses, about how much we're making, how much we're losing, the past 2 months in trading crypto has been the most profitable, most amount of money I've ever made my entire life. In the past 3 months, it's just been like record goals. Basically, what I'll tell you, I won't tell you everything. What I'll tell you is that I invested about $1,000 into crypto a year ago or a year and a half ago. Yeah, and it did 1,000%. So $1,000 has turned into $10,000 in the course of a year. But the madness started to happen once I broke that 4,000 level, because at that point, the trading volumes, when you have that much capital, it can get really crazy real quick. So you at this point, I'm making at least $100 a day. Like, so, because look, And I think in stock markets, maybe people wish or dream for like a 10% or a 20% in a year. Like, oh my God, if I could get 20% of my portfolio, that would be awesome. With cryptocurrency, that happens on a regular basis. So once you get to that mark of like where you got about $4,000 and you can start like spreading your trades more evenly out, it's easy to make $200 a day. All you need is like $1,000 in one place, and it just needs to go up 20%. And that's so common in crypto. That can happen in a week. You can easily make $100, $200 a day trading if you know what you're doing. And how I've been doing it hasn't been sophisticated. I've just been watching influencers on YouTube, following billionaires on Twitter. I mean, they're active. These guys, these billionaires are active on Twitter. You can follow them. You can just see their daily tweets. I know it sounds crazy, like, oh, you're spending money based on people's opinion online. Pretty much, it's pretty much what I'm doing. I don't care. I don't care. It's worked for me so far. Can't complain. Can't complain. Can it go to zero tomorrow? Yes. Also, I don't care. I've taken out my $1,000, so that's what I put in. It made 10K. I took it out. At this point, it goes to zero. I don't give a fuck. I just don't. It's like, man, hold it for 5 years. I really don't care. Like, it's made me what I needed to get. Now I can take my investment, put it in a new opportunity, no problem. And this way, you never FOMO in. Because one thing that I do, or that has taught me in this market, is I don't even know that much how to read graphs and stuff. I learned a little bit, but the biggest thing I learned was that all the graph shows is people's emotions and their psychology. So if you see a lot of red, it means people are selling, people are panicking, people are taking their profits. If you see a lot of green, it means people are getting greedy and or FOMOing in. So sometimes you just wait till a big wave comes in and you just put a trade in there and then it just explodes 300%. That's happened to me 3 times the month ago, where I just put in like $50 into this rant. I just get a gut feeling. I don't even know what it was. I'm like, hey, this coin looks kind of shaky right now. It looks like it might erupt like a volcano, and then I'll buy it, and it'll just go up 300% by the next morning. I'll be like, God damn it, why did I only put $50? I could have, like, that $50 is now suddenly $150 in just 7 hours. I'm like, if I put in 1,000, that would be $3,000 in 5 hours. And I don't know, it's crazy. I don't get it. I just been watching the lines so much every day, all day, to the point that I've identified patterns, and I'm like, hey, I've seen this before. I think it's going to do this. And I just follow those patterns. And about 60 to 70% of the time, you check out like green. So those odds are pretty good to me. And it's a bull market. So basically anything you buy is going to pump. Anything you buy is going to pump. Everything pumps in this market. But yeah, it's high. It's like, the risk tolerance for me, in my opinion, is way better than the stock market. Stock market is too slow. At least here, you get lucky. You make 60, 70%, 300%, 1,000%. Take it, go put it somewhere else. It's $1,000. It's just $1,000. And then it can break into 10K, or sometimes it can go to zero. But it's just $1,000. Anyways, that's cryptocurrency is another episode for another day. Once I get that streaming service, maybe then I'll start talking more about trades, so it makes a lot more. I also recently purchased this program for social dynamics by Owen Cook, Real Social Dynamics. Owen Cook, check him out. Amazing guy, the most underrated guy in the internet, in my opinion. Whatever self-help you've been listening to, I believe this guy is the top of the top. In my opinion, better than Tony Robbins. I mean, I'm sure he would disagree, but I think he goes a lot more. What I love about his stuff is that it's so out of the box. So, with Tony Robbins, you'll get like, he's amazing. I love Tony Robbins. You'll get stuff that's kind of, how do I say this, more palatable to the average person. Whereas with the stuff with Owen Cook, it goes really, really nuanced. And it's like almost this blind spot of social science that you don't find encompassed under one roof. Like, the stuff he talks about, people have talked about before, but it's very like scattered, and they've all treated it as like different genres. Like, you've got like NLP, and you've got like what do you call those things? stuff Tony Robbins talks about. Like I don't know what they're called, normal self-help stuff. But with Owen, he puts it all together under this one thing. He just calls it social dynamics, and it's so applicable to your life that I feel if you don't learn these things, you're pretty much screwed. If you don't get good at what he's talking about, which is basically like high status communication, and maybe the word high status communication sounds like cringy to you, but it's the easiest way to describe it. It's okay. Why do some people like make more money than you do? Why do some people have better relationships than you do? Why do some people seem to always get away with things? Why do politicians talk the way that they talk? Why do we believe some people and others we don't? Why are more people attractive in the way they talk? Why are some people more boring? Why are some people more interesting? And what's crazy about it is that high status communication is just normal communication. And I'm willing to bet that 90% of us do not speak in a high status communication way. Or what I should say, 90% of us don't actually communicate the way we're supposed to communicate. Like you're operating at a lower level, including me, which is why I bought the goddamn program. Because I wanted to learn this bad. I'm like, yeah, I need this. Okay. Like I need to get this settled, get it handled. And the reason why is it goes all the way back to what I was talking about, information and algorithms, social media, and media in general, and communication, is that we're so bombarded by so much information, by so many opinions, by so many ways of how you're supposed to act. Like it seems like today that anyone with a strong enough opinion, like people will back up that thought. Like we believe anything anyone says online nowadays if if they just have a strong enough opinion for it. So in a world of this misinformation, how do you protect yourself? How do you shield yourself and make sure that you are your own thoughts and that you're acting on your own beliefs and you're not just like some cog and the agenda of somebody else? How do you protect yourself? You go back into your own, what do you call that, focal point, your own pivot. And to fall back into your own pivot, you need to get out of social conditioning and get out of like the haze that you're currently in from all this information that everyone is trying to, like marketers are trying to always sell to you. They're always trying to sell to you stuff. They're trying to get you to buy. When you go to the grocery market, everyone's trying to get you to buy their bananas, their apples, their tomato jar. The government is always trying to tell you what to do. They're trying to tell you like what's the best, safest course of action for shared shared collaboration in today's world. Your teacher's trying to tell you something. Your lecturer's trying to get you to work harder. Your boss is trying to get you as optimized as possible. There's constant demands on your attention. So how do you even fall back to your own mental pivot? Now, again, I'm not saying these things are like, down with the things. The point is like, this is just natural life. And when you get stuck in the hamster wheel of other people's opinions, you lose yourself. And the point is to like shield yourself in a way where you can choose to what you want to respond to and make sure that you're operating from your own mental pivot. Because look, all these people bombarding you with their messages, they're operating from their pivot, right? And you want to be at the cause, not the effect. You want to be at the cause of your life, not the effect. I think that's what Breaking Bad is about. Walter White, what was the biggest thing he realized is that he's about to die and he's lived his entire life living someone else's life. And he was like, I think if I'm phrasing him correctly, he says, what did he say? My entire life, I think I've never really made my own decisions, or something along the lines of that. So like, you don't want to be in that position. And like, take an example of the last time you felt amazing, or when you watched an awesome show and you felt great, or you went and you played with your friends, maybe some video games, maybe you went bowling, or you went to a social event and you're socializing. Like, think about, why do most people drink? And it's like to let go, right? People just want to like cheer each other on and dance and laugh, and it seems like that the only way to shut off that like hum in your brain that's just like the daily struggle is to like take substances or distract yourself with entertainment, right? But if you think about it a little deeper, you feel good when you do those things. So what is it about the not feeling good and the doing good? Why is it when you're distracted it feels good? Why is it when you're pumping alcohol it feels good? Versus when you're in that daily hum of like herpader, herpader, like everyone goes through. I go through. Everyone goes through. I'm not saying it's bad. Damn, I lost my train of thought. No, yeah, the point is, when you're out of that trance of like all that bombardment, you feel great. So which leads to say is that you can feel great if you manage to fall back into your pivot. When you're in a state of cause, not effect, you can operate from your pivot. You can identify social conditioning when it's happening and choose to respond to things operating from your own authenticity. And that's what I hope to learn from that program. That's already what I'm learning from that program. It's really awesome because it involves these tweaks in your paradigm, like in the way you think about things. You're still going about life in the same way. You've just changed a few, you just make a little paradigm shifts, and you apply that information that you did operating from these new mind states, and you see the positive results, and your body just loves it. Your brain just loves it. When you start seeing the benefits of getting in core with yourself, and being able to communicate from your true self, and you see the positive effects that starts happening, it becomes easier and easier to learn it, because you go in this upward spiral, because now your DNA is starting to help you. It's like, yes, doing things like this works. Thinking in a collaborative mindset works. You want to get people on your side. You want to get things done. Thinking from a collaborative mindset will make you more money, and it'll make everything a little bit better. It'll make your life better. So when you get your communication right from a new set of paradigm shifts and the way you communicate, and then applying that and actually doing the necessary things to make sure that you don't operate from a social conditioning standpoint, you basically start to create a rubric for your own life. And your DNA loves that for whatever reason. You know why? Because it feels great. Your DNA loves what it feels great. It's like, yes, give us more of this. This is what we want. And you just go into an upward spiral and experience deep level identity change. I think that's the core, is that when you start to experience deep level identity change, you start to think like, oh man, I've always been like this. Like, I've always been like this. I've always spoken with a free flowing voice. I don't remember when I wasn't. And that's what you want. You want change that's so subconscious that you feel like you've always been like this. Like, it's always been this easy. And that's what we're looking after. And that's what we're experiencing. And I'm super excited to it's a 12-week program. So we're seeing how it goes. What else, guys? What else? It's been so long since I've recorded. See, this is what I like about live broadcasts, is that it's not really a show. It's not like another video. It's being recorded, but there's no rush. There's no timestamp. There's no, like, I've been watching a lot of these crypto YouTubers, and they're all going, let's go. This is welcome live to the morning crypto show, where we teach you how to make money, like, subscribe, bell button, alt, all this, like, kind of, it's a show, right? That's what you want from a show. It's very well paced. But what I like about live stuff is that you can just chill. You can just not care. You can actually just slow down and collect your thoughts and, say nothing. Like, it's just a live broadcast. I think it breaks the third wall a little bit. And it's like I said, I had no topic anyway. Just enjoying this new mic. And I just wanted to flesh out some ideas by kind of like reflecting on what were the main things that I think I really took away from the past 2 months, or what we learned. I really think archiving has a teaching ability to yourself. Like when you archive, you learn, right? And that's another thing I learned from social dynamics. So one of the things Owen likes to or preaches for you to do is he'll tell you, like, after, let's say, so okay, what's the core of getting good at high status communication is massive and massive amounts of uh, approaches, meeting people. So when you go to a social event or when you go and socialize, let's say you talk to 30 new people at that event or at that shopping mall or wherever you went. You talk to 30 new people. You had to get out of your comfort zone. You had to go talk to all these people. You're applying all the nuances of communication you've learned. You're getting people engaged. You got connected. Maybe you got a few new contacts, and then you go home. And instead of just feeling that, oh yeah, that was so cool or that was so bad, he'll advise you to actually go and write a field report of how the approaches went. What did you say? Where was the place you were coming from? How did you feel in your body? How was your vocal resonance? How were you at ease? Were you tensed up? Like basically, you just archive the interactions, and as you do that, you start to actually build your own mental models of like what's going on. So, I love doing this. I've always loved journaling and writing my ideas down. I was at the coffee shop today. I didn't have a pen. I didn't have my phone, so I was just brainstorming things in my mind and breathing them in at the same time to cement those memories. I already forgot what half of them were, but there's something else about free casting that's different from free writing that I think has a lot to do with your physiology, because there's something about a pencil in your hand that feels so connected and that engages your mind in a way. And there's a lot of theories why this happens, but there's something entirely else about speaking out and having to talk and move and feel your vocal vibrations in your chest and your breath. Like my throat actually hurts a little bit right now. It's not hurt, but I'm starting to feel a little dry because I've just been talking nonstop. And it's pretty cool how, just like free writing, the more you talk and the more momentum you build as you're talking, the less you're thinking and the more things are kind of just flowing to you. And you get even into a deeper flow state than you are, arguably, I would say, more than writing, because I'm using more of my body. And it's hard to think when I'm speaking versus when I'm writing, I can kind of hear my voice in my head. And it's weird. Like as I'm talking right now, I start to feel better and better. Not at talking, but my energetic state is starting to feel better and better. Like my body's starting to feel better. I'm starting to feel a little more at ease. I'm starting to feel more relaxed. I feel more present as I'm just talking about these things. I can feel this little elevation, if you will. I also drank a massive cup of coffee 40 minutes ago. So that, I mean, that's probably what it is. But yeah, point is, going live, learning from archiving your own ideas. They also say it's a meditation, right? Ow, my neck is intense. And it's so cool because there's so many different types of videos online. Like I found this guy, I think he's a doctor. He goes live regularly to study. So I think his broadcasts are called "Come Study with Me" or something like that. Study with me. It's like 10 hours of study. So he's literally he records himself. He'll go live stream and he'll record himself studying for his medical studies. And it's just 10 hours of him just sitting down, having tea, typing. And you're just like, I think there's some background music. Sometimes when he'll take a break, he'll, do this 15-minute cutscene of something. And I mean, look, the guy has so many subscribers. And I'm not saying that like to grow your brand or whatever. I'm just saying that you can do that. Like, I like stuff that kind of breaks the wall like that. Like because that's essentially what it is. We're here talking about communication. And I'm here trying to really milk this thing for what it's worth and what it is. And it's not this like end to end one way stream where you're just watching this YouTuber and you have nothing of to it's not just a one-way thing. Like when it comes to live broadcast, when it comes to just you can go live on your phone, right? And I'm talking to you right now, right? As of this moment, as of this red button is on, like I'm talking to somebody, and they could say something in the chat, and I can choose to respond or I could choose not to respond. And it's so cool because you can do this however you like. You don't have to stream how everyone else is streaming. Like my friend recently sent me a video of T-Pain on Twitch. That guy's pretty cool. Like the way T-Pain does his Twitch is just the way he wants to do it. And look, I could just get up right now and go get some water, and it could run for like 10 minutes. Or I could just go to the bathroom right now, and that's my video. Like, who cares? Like, I could keep this on for the whole day and do something else. Like, I could just go back to trading. I can just leave it on, and know the camera's on, and just go about my day, and then upload that as a video. Like, YouTube will let me upload 10 hours. It doesn't care. Why not? Why not? Like, if you have no agenda, why the hell not? I think it's really cool. And we have a phone call live right now. Hold up. Hello? Hey, how's it going? I'm currently live right now. Okay, all right, ciao. Wow, look at that. What were the odds of that happening? I mean, it's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. you get a phone call, you can answer. Like, you'd be like, oh, that's not professional. Who cares? Who cares, man? I hope this opens up your eyes a little bit. It's the Goober Studio, okay? And this is the U Studio. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. Oh, see, there you go. See, people exist in the chat. People are real. This is a real live broadcast. This is not another video. Hello, friends. Hello, Zanily. Whoops. There you go. There, point proven, guys. How amazing was that? Getting a phone call, as I was just telling you how live calls break the third wall, and that they're just not another video. So if an explosion happened right now, it would. Anyways, forgot what I was saying. We're talking about prices, and then we were talking about what do you call it? Going live and communication, and how that I'm thirsty. I'm just trying to think whether there's anything else that's worth mentioning for another video. Herp the dirt. Oh yeah. Oh my god. My ads. Holy shit. Marketing. That's just an entirely different thing that has been off my mind. So, as some of you guys know, I do advertising for social media, and that my main job, 80% of what I do throughout the week is digital marketing for specific type of creative industries, let's just say. And I'm only working with 2 right now, and the major one that I'm working with. So it's a different kind of sales cycle that I've never dealt with before. It's super long. We deal with super long sales cycles. And the thing with these because I've always done e-commerce. So when you spend money on e-commerce, you can directly quantify how profitable your campaigns is in real time. Whereas with service-oriented companies, sometimes it takes a long time before getting a client to them actually paying you. So when it came to share your yeehaw marketing tips, yeehaw, e-commerce, I'm gonna share a little bit about my tips, so you folks can get rich. All right. So, so one of the I lost my train. Oh yeah. So this company I'm working with has a super long sales cycle, about 6 to 8 months, and I for my 2020 campaigns, I did not know how profitable they were until yesterday. I'm still finding out how profitable. So, but when the year ended, I was kind of disappointed because I was like, they were profitable. You know, yeah, they didn't lose money. The company I worked with, you know, whatever they spent on ads, they got it back. But I wasn't as satisfied because I put in a year's work and I wanted to break the internet, but it didn't. You know, execution is key. But as of March, we're still closing deals from last year, and I'm starting to see like how amazing these campaigns actually were in the long run, and it's crazy. Like I can't really reveal much about the results, but all I can tell you is that data from ads and the new case studies I've been creating by constantly working on different brands, different types of campaigns, different sales cycles is as profitable as cryptocurrency without the risk. So like your ROI on data is probably 400 to 1,000% return if you know how to do it. And what's crazy about all this, that of me running ads, is that eventually I'm the one who has all this data. So how I repurpose the data and how I use it for my next idea, because I've trial and tested hundreds and hundreds of ads and reached millions of people. I know the common denominator that works across online advertising. So what that lets me do is, let's say I charged you $10,000 on marketing, and then I charge another client 10,000, another client 10,000, and one worked at a boutique, the other one worked at a hotel, and the third one was selling cheese online. So based on all these marketing campaigns, 3 different industries, I can start to deduct the common psychology that gets people to work, right? Through ads, what people respond to. So then let's say I stop working with all these 3 companies and I go into property. Let's say I do property and I've spent 30K on ads on 3 different businesses. And I know that the word, what do you call it? Hey, Kuala Lumpur gets me more clicks than not adding Hey, Kuala Lumpur to my ads. So let's say I one of my ads is, do you love shampoo? Okay. And then the second ad is, hey, Kuala Lumpur, do you love shampoo? And then the one in Kuala Lumpur overall across all 4 businesses gets more clicks. Every time I ask a client for 10,000K for a marketing thing, I've reduced my cost and their cost, which means I get more data and more results and more money the more I continue advertising for people. You get that? So it cost me 30K to learn 30K across 3 different businesses to learn that, hey, Kuala Lumpur gets me more results at a cheaper cost. So now when I go to the 4th company and I ask them for 10K, instead of getting 40K, instead of getting 100 ringgit per result, I already know the cheapest cost for the result. So I can optimize that 10K even better with that 5th client. So my business as an advertiser gets better and better with any new client that I get. The more I just keep advertising for people. So I grow by just doing, and that insight is like priceless. Think about it. I got it for free. Why? Because I'm the advertiser. I get paid only when the company makes money, but I'm getting free data. Think about that. So one of the major things of these long sales cycles that I've learned is how profitable data is, and 2, it rewards consistency. So coming into the 4th year of running this social media project that I've been working on, so I've only been working with a handful of clients, and I built their online structures from the ground up, so they all feel like little babies that I've just been nurturing and reiterating every step of the way, that it feels like I'm too emotionally attached, but at the same time, I'm starting to see real results. And these tiny results that are happening right now are changing my mind like a ton, because now I know my systems work. I know they work, and they work good. So now I don't have to hesitate every time I'm like trying something out, because I feel like a lot of what holds me back is whether this thing is going to work out or whether it's all going to go to shit. And, you know, you don't want to lose people's money. So, knowing that they work kind of lets you access more of your faculties, because you're not hindered by your own self-limiting beliefs or like your own blockages of like I don't know how good to make this, I don't know how much to spend on it, I don't even know if this is a system that's well built for the next 5 years. But when you get to that point where you get the clients that you want and you get the KPIs that you want and you get the real feedback from the customers that they're loving your service, that's when that click happens. And that's when you know, okay, I know exactly where I need to hone in on, and I know exactly where the system loopholes I need to tighten. And that's what we're doing right now. And honestly, at this rate, I think I'm going to become a very successful advertiser and marketer very soon. I mean, I think I already am pretty good. I wouldn't say I'm professional, not yet. Like I've seen some people do insane results, but I'm really excited for this year and next year and just seeing what I can do. And I feel really grateful at this very moment, because I'm at this tipping point where I'm really seeing the blossoms of the seeds I planted. So over the past 3 years, and you can see some of my videos, I did have like some wins, some losses, but I feel like I'm in that phase where I'm at a blossom and I'm going to be seeing a lot of fruit being yielded, and I'm going to get to harvest some of this fruit, not all of it. I'm most likely going to take most of this yield and replant it, because this is what I've been doing the past 3 years, and replanting these things is what got me up to this point. So I'm seeing the compounding effect. And you would say like, yo, man, just take a chill pill, take out everything, and like, hey, you worked, like, stop being so greedy, right? But I don't view it like that, because every time I've started to get fruit, and it's usually at the first quarter of the year, and then usually I put all of it, and then for the rest of the year, I go broke, I lose everything. Everything's so stressful, and then December will be like a really terrible month, and then I'll bounce back up, because every year you make a harvest, right? It's really insane. But what I'm really starting to feel about this point that's different from all the previous wins is that this win is actually big enough that I can take out enough fruit for myself and replant everything without it impacting my life negatively, or without taking so much risk up front, or without, what I'm saying is my life got better in a lot of areas while putting back that yield. So it doesn't look like I'm putting in more than what I can handle. And I'm really excited for that. I don't know yet, right? I don't know yet. Like maybe tomorrow we wake up and the US bans cryptocurrency and I lose, 60% of what I got. Maybe the clients I get from my social media just cancel on you because the sales cycles are so long. You don't know. But point is, just knowing that these things have come into my hand, whether they go or not, I think defeats the purpose, because I feel like the jigsaw puzzle clicks that I had to get in order to learn these things was way more valuable than any kind of dollars I can make. It's priceless. Again, I could go to somewhere new, start from zero, and do it all over again, and do it better this time. I could start from zero and do it all over again and do even better. Why? Because I have the blueprint. I got the blueprint. You can tear the house down. Tsunamis and natural disasters happen all the time. But if you've got the blueprint, you can rebuild it exactly as it was, and even better, because you can always improve on a building. You know what's funny about architects? They'll they could spend years on a building. They could spend as long as they want on a building, and all the way up to the day that they finish it, and they pass it to their client, they realize what could have been done better. So design is a never-ending process. Design is continuously changing. Whatever can be good can always be made better. Which debunks the whole thing of practice makes perfect, because you're delusional. You'll never be perfect. You will never be perfect, but you can get better. And I think that's where it's at. And I mean, look at this mic. Look at this mic. How can you say we're not winning? I'm just kidding, yo. It costs $50. The mic itself with a tripod, a little external tripod you can put on your table, that was $30. And then this stand, this whole rig is about $10 or $15. It's $50, man. Okay, you make that in a day. You make $50 in a day. You can get this if you wanted. You don't even have to. We were using this. Okay, yeah, this guy's pretty good, but like, I mean, come on, which one is sexier? Come on. My throat is starting to get dry, and I'm starting to run out of things to talk about. What else? What else has been going crazy, guys? I like how there's been one person watching or listening. That's another thing about these podcasts, right? Is that you don't need to watch them. I mean, I'm not really doing anything. I'm not streaming and showing you my screen. So it could just be a recording, something you just listen to. It's cool that there's one viewer after 1 hour. I really love this stuff. I really love streaming. Let me see what else. I have a notebook here. Let's see if I did anything cool. We learned trading. Yes, I took some trading notes. Okay, so some of the patterns. I don't know if you can see this. You learned in trading. These squiggly lines all mean something. What else? Oh, yes, my e-commerce store. Oh my God. So I spent a lot of money on these ads. I spent all my capital, and we made a lot of sales. And I ran out of money, so I couldn't continue advertising. This was for a separate new store. And what happened later was 2 weeks after I stopped advertising, I was still getting sales, and I'm still getting traffic right now, which because I felt, I wouldn't say gave up, but I'm like, yo, I'm out of money. I don't know how much I want to spend on this. It's still not profitable. But the organic sales gave me more confidence because I'm getting visitors for free and people are buying for free. I'm like, whoa, what did I just tap into? And our Instagram page is still growing. So I was like, hey, this is really awesome. But the thing is about this product is that it has an expiry date. So it's really time sensitive, and you really got to push out your product before it goes bad. But that's another case study I was working on. You know what I learned from this case study is that online ads on social media, the more amateur you can make them look, the more engagement they get. So I've been doing all types of ads. I've been doing ads with cool thumbnails. I've been doing ads with thumbnails with the best scroll stopping text. Have you tried this, or do you love shampoo? Or thumbnails with the expressions and the arrows. And the craziest thing I realized is the thumbnails without anything, the thumbnails without text, the thumbnails without that looked like they were planned, or a thumbnail that doesn't look like it was photoshopped or photo edited, literally as basic of a thumbnail as you can. As if this video, how this video just looks like a screenshot from the video. If this is your thumbnail, you're more likely to get people to stop scrolling and watch your video. Why? Because just take note of the next time you are scrolling through social media and the type of content you stop by, and you realize that anything that looks remotely like an ad or a branded content, you're going to scroll past it. But if you were just to see some random still image of a thumbnail for a video, you're going to pause for a second to see what's it about, right? And that actually activates a dopamine sensor in your brain. Because dopamine isn't, oh yeah, give me those good kicks. Dopamine is the anticipation of something. So the reason you love swiping stories so much isn't that stories are addictive, but it's the idea that, oh, what am I going to get? Okay, it's like that slot machine in a casino. It's not the actual result that's giving you the dopamine. It's the anticipation of the result. It's like the pulling it and not knowing where you get, pulling the lever, like, oh, come on. That's where you get the dopamine. So when you don't add a thumbnail, of editing and just like maybe you just saw a thumbnail of a guy like this and you're like, what the hell? And you stop and you actually stop for the content and you wait for the videos to start. And then this is a guy just like talking on a mic and doing some disco moves. You're not going to scroll past so quickly just because you still don't know what it's about. You're going to watch the 3 seconds. You're going to watch the 15 seconds. And then it's just going to be a guy talking to you about his ad and like, you know, how awesome targeting and he's moving. And you're just like, what the hell is going on? And then next thing you know it, you watched an entire 1 minute ad and then maybe even clicked on that guy's profile. So you look, and why do I say this? Because I've tested it. I've ran ads with thumbnails without any editing. I ran ads, you know, with a thumbnail of like what you think is going to work. And the ones that without the thumbnail just seriously outperform the others. And people just clicked more on it because look, that's look, when you're online, you're looking for content, you're looking for people's feed. And the more relatable you can make something, the more people resonate with it. So it isn't that shitty content gets more clicks. It's that the more relatable content is, the more people will respond to it. So if you're, and this works in commercial settings too, it's not just personal brand. If you're making content online and you're trying to really like go next level online marketing, it's not the highest production that wins, it's the one that's most relatable. And what are people on social media for? People. And if you think that your friend posted this, you're more likely to watch it, right? So you're more likely to resonate with it. Why? Because you don't have a 4K camera and a special effects and microphone team. You don't have that, right? At home. The average person doesn't have that. But then when they see someone with a shaky camera phone, they're resonating with it, right? Whether that person is credible or whatever, it's a whole different story. It doesn't even matter. It's what people resonate with and how they share that resonation with following you, commenting, liking, or buying your product. This product that I was advertising, sometimes people would buy it and they'd leave me a tip, and purely because they liked the video. It wasn't even that, oh my God, this is a product I have to have. It was just like, hey, thanks for the video. I'm buying your product. And they would say that in the video. And to me, that's mind-blowing. So you can see the past 3 months have just been super warping, paradigm shifting from every other angle of my life that I've been doing, and career-wise mostly, mentally as well, spiritually as well, socially, intellectually. I'm a major nerd. I've been reading so many journals. It's crazy. And it's about, and watching documentaries. And it's not even like, you know, it's just what I do. Like I'm just a nerd about information. Like I love learning new things about the stuff that I like. Like I could spend an entire day, if it was up to me, if I didn't have responsibilities, just chilling out, drinking coffee, and just watching like documentaries about tons of stuff that I'm interested in. I could do that. Like I have no problem just consuming new information. What I do have a problem with is consuming information that is like entertainment. And I try and practice actually watching normal shows. I try and just watching a show that's like just brain melting. I try and practice that because I realize I have too little of that. And sometimes like it's good to just not, is to just watch, you know, some just distracting stuff. But I'm telling you, like, it's not even willpower. It's just, I'm just such a nerd for information that it's just what I do. And like, sometimes it's overwhelming with all that information you consume, and you just want to put it somewhere, and you can't just rant to your friends about it. Cause like, let's be honest, not everybody gives a fuck about cryptocurrency and all these other things. And, you know, and like that, sometimes just people want to know what's the latest meme, you know, and that's fine. That's awesome. I'm just saying, it's good to put that information somewhere. You know, it's good to make something out of it because you're just like consuming. And I think it's just human nature. You kind of want to share the things you love and and just shoot it out. Like we want to create stuff from what we kind of know. And what I'd really love to see one day is, what did our ancestors do? Let's say the really creative ancestors, like, were they the ones that created the weapons and the tools and the the new baking gear, and you know, the or the guy that took the rock and smoothed it the most. He took the rock, smoothed it the most, so that you can, you know, bake, put it on a fire and bake your bread. Like, is that how they express their creativity? Where did they get their information from? What did they consume? Were they just going out in nature and hunting and then seeing, like, how are they learning? Was it by doing? Did they just observe certain phenomena going on around them? And then did that, all that, you know, observation suddenly channel into creativity, into like the unknown of what can be, what could be? It's really interesting, right? Right now, modern creativity is so easy because you're smarter than your ancestor in the way that you've been taught how to draw, you've been taught how to create stuff. But what would you have done if you didn't have that? Right? That's pretty cool. And yeah, I think I'm going to be talking more about these things individually over separate episodes, because I just want to dig deeper. And this video helped me flesh out ideas that I should go deeper on. I should do some architecture stuff because I am an architect, and I will be pursuing my second part at some point. Maybe once I make a lot of money, I'm gonna go get a university degree in architecture. But I should talk more about architecture because I feel like there's a lot of cool stuff you can learn, whether you're not an architect or even care. I feel like I can get you to care about architecture because architecture is life, man. It's the foundation of everything I do. So everything I'm telling you about data and blockchain and social dynamics and all this metaphysical stuff, all of it comes from architecture. Why? Because of the thought process that you have to integrate to understand architecture as an architecture student changes the way you look at life. It can be a problem. It turns you into a hammer. And when you're a hammer, you go about your life looking at everything as a nail. Like, it's a problem to be fixed. And that's how architects think. Like, they think that whatever empty plot of land, whatever property they come from, their entire thought process is to leave this place better than they found it. So inherently, the moment they approach a place, there's already problems. So I think that's why I'm so intrigued about all these things. I feel like architecture is just at the core of life, at the core of everything. It's design. And where does design come from? It comes from nature, and nature is everything. You're from nature. And so design comes from you. It's from studying of nature, from studying you, from studying the universe. It's from the universal laws and the mathematical dynamics that hold everything together. That's where architecture comes from. It's not just buildings. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what we're going to get into. And that's why you're going to love architecture. You're going to love your room. You're going to love every space you'll walk into, and it's going to blow your mind. And I'd love to keep talking, but it's already 2:30 p.m. I have a lot of work to do. My throat is getting dry, and I want to savor some more new ideas for the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to the random broadcast. I hope you love my new cowboy hat. I hope you love this new audio quality that we're giving you. Leave a thumbs up. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Let's have a conversation, and I'll see you on the next live stream. Thank you. Goodbye, and have an amazing, go crush it.